Good morning, Rowan. And Alex. It is Tuesday, and we're in the guest bathroom, which is not the garden, but where half of the garden is starting. So, thought I would show you my seed starting setup and what has worked for me so far. It's a little bit unconventional, maybe. We are in my guest bathroom. Here we are. It's a little bit empty right now because the tomatoes are outside hardening off, but I thought that might be helpful to have this a little bit empty so you can see the light setup a little bit better. So we are in my bathroom. It's the only, or guest bathroom, it's the only place in the house that we had for something this size that didn't mean putting all of these grow lights in a room where we would spend a lot of time and therefore not be great for our eyes. So I actually have two different kinds of lights here. Everything is plugged into this power switch up here, so I can just click that and it turns everything on. I'm gonna leave that off for a little bit here. I also have a fan at every shelf. These are just little USB like desk fans. And I've got a taller one down here to keep airflow going and to kind of give them a little resistance so their stems stay nice and sturdy. Up here is actually the grow lights that I used last year. They're just these little clip lamps that I got at Walmart that have these bulbs in them that are actually grow light bulbs, which I was surprised to find that Walmart had them. They worked really well for me last year. Last year I only started about 2 trays of stuff. This year obviously I started a lot more and they did well. So I reused them again this year because I had them. And then I also added on these, let's see if I can get a good angle, these strip lights here. So this might be a better. Also, I really resisted the urge to clean all this up, just to be real. And like, this is what my pseudo greenhouse looks like. And it's actually been kind of nice to have it in the tub. If I spill water or something, I don't have to worry about cleaning it up right away. But alas, back to the lights. So here we are. So there are these little strips here. They all connect together. So the connections are just kind of wound around, which is nice because they're a little bit shorter than what a traditional grow light would be from a big box store. They're not as bulky as like using shop lights like some people do. I did have to get them on Amazon. They were much more affordable though. And they just worked really, really well for me. Some of them have these little clips hanging to hold them on. Some of them are zip ties. In the future, I want to figure out some sort of chaining system so they can be lowered and then raised as the plants grow. This year, what I did was I took my extra bins and I should have had this ready. I just kind of stacked them on top of each other here to get the plants closer to the lights when the plants were smaller. It worked pretty well, but again, in the future, I think it'd be easier to have a system where we can just raise and lower these. But I do like the flexibility they provide. You know, if you had a shorter shelf, I've got 3 on each shelf right now. So, you know, another set would have been nice because I could have then had 4 lights across each bar, but trying to save some money. And like I said, we've got these fans here as well. So let me turn everything on. You can see they do have the purple hue. So it does look a little funny when you're on the outside. There's this pink glow coming from my bathroom. Yeah, and then I use these little, I think they're 2.5 inch nursery cups from Bootstrap Farmer. And then the trays that I showed you. So I have 2 trays. I have one tray that has holes in it, one tray that doesn't, so I can bottom water everything, which has worked out really well for me. The fans provide, you know, that so you can see it kind of jostling the plants around. And what I do here is I just rotate like what plant is closest to the fan. That also varies, you know, where they are under the different lights and everything. And it's worked well for me this year. The only thing that hasn't worked well for me is these guys up here. So this was my mistake. All of these are started in seed starting mix. These, when I went to start these, I didn't want to buy another bag of seed starting mix, so I bought potting soil so I could use the excess potting soil for something else. And potting soil does not look drastically different when it's dry from when it's damp like seed starting mix does. So I definitely did not keep the seeds damp enough to germinate. As you can see, all of these are empty. I had a few things germinate. I got some lettuce leaf basil here that did. It's not growing very fast. I actually just direct seeded some of this into the garden. I've got a couple marigolds down here and some more of that lettuce leaf that did come up. So if by the time, well, these have true leaves now, so they can go out, but I'm gonna leave them in here a little bit longer and probably plant them out with the peppers. But yeah, I was waiting for the soil to change color the way that seed starting mix does when it dries out, and it doesn't do that. So I learned that the hard way, but now we know better for next year. All right, that's my little bathroom tour. Let's go check on some tomatoes. So last night was warm enough that I could leave them outside overnight for the first time. Tomorrow and the next day, or tonight and tomorrow, I'm setting my coffee down, will not be. So they will come back inside. But then after that, fingers crossed, we have no more cold nights and I can plant these out this weekend. So let's take a look. And here are all of my tomato babies. You might be thinking, wow, Jen, that's a lot of tomatoes. And you would be right. I do not have space in my garden to plant all of these. So any of my extras I'll be giving away to anyone who wants them and needs them. But in fear of things not germinating or not growing well, I just planted a lot. And I do have kind of my sad rejects over there that just didn't do well in the setup. They got kind of puny. They got overshadowed by some of these other ones that grew really tall. So yeah, in here we have a variety of tomatillos. I think this is actually a ground cherry. We've got cherries and slicers and paste tomatoes and all sorts of other stuff. And then the rest of my herbs up here. And a little sneak peek into the garden as well. So I will do a much more thorough garden tour next week, but I wanted to show off the grow setup for you so you could see what mine looks like and my beautiful tomato plants that I'm oh so very excited about. The tomatillos are already persistently trying to set fruit, so I have to come pluck those off every day. But yeah, I hope that was a helpful tour for you to show you how I have my seed starting set up this year. Who knows what it will look like next year. We'll see when we get there. But let me know if you have any questions about what I've done and the decisions that I've made, or any suggestions on how I could improve it. I don't know. And anything you want to know about this lovely setup for next week. Bye.